Hey Crafty Dolls, welcome back, and thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. If you're new, my name is Amber Michawn and I love all things DIY home decor with a high-end touch. But if you're not new, hey doll, hey. So in today's video, I have some of my favorite fall DIYs, so let's get into it. For this DIY, I am taking this house frame from the Dollar Tree. It says it's a beach thing. And what I am going to do is just take off the top frame part of the house as well as the little styrofoam sticker in the middle. And I'm going to use this pumpkin thankful scrapbooking page that I got from Hobby Lobby. What I was showing you there is going to be some nails that are in the house frame at the top that holds that MDF piece there, so just make sure you're looking out for it so that way you don't like cut yourself like I did. After that, I went ahead and just traced this house frame onto the back side of my scrapbooking paper and then cut that to its size. I am going to attach it onto the front using a glue stick that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's the purple disappearing one and it works really well. You just got to make sure you let it sit to set up and dry. Once I let it sit to dry, then I'm just going to take a sanding block also from the Dollar Tree and going to sand down the edges of my house frame. I love sanding down edges of anything. It gives it a really nice farmhouse touch and look to it. Then to reattach the top house what is this, a border on there, I just used some super glue gel, and that is it for this. I love it. It's adorable and it looks great on a tier tray. Alright friends, so this video is also a collaboration video with some of my sweet friends here on YouTube. I will have the playlist in my description box below as well as pinned to the comments. We are giving you guys all fall DIY inspiration. Really hope you guys enjoy all the videos. So after you're done with mine, and go ahead and head over to everybody else's channel, tell them I said hello, and I know you guys will love all of these DIY inspirations for this fall season of crafting. For my next DIY, I'm using this kind of orange metallic paper. So the paper is not metallic, it's just the pumpkins on the front that are like metallic orange, and I'm going to use that as well as a sign from the Dollar Tree. These 12 by 12 signs are really easy to come by, and then I'm just going to use these square dowel rods. I picked these up from Amazon. They are linked to my Amazon storefront in my description box below, so make sure you check that out if this is something that you like to do. I love framing out all types of different signs, so I try to use different sizes of these square dowel rods. The next thing I do is paint the backside of the sign using just a little bit of white. I just wanted it to look more complete and finished because you could see the back of the sign through that paper, which I thought was really weird, but nevertheless, I fixed it. I went ahead and painted it white. It wasn't a perfect job because I didn't need it to be. And then I attached my paper using that same glue stick. And then if you know me, you've been around, I like finished projects. So I always cover the back side of my signs with some brown or tan craft paper, whatever I have on hand. It just gives it a finished look. And then if I actually do want to sell it, I can adhere it even better. Of course, I try to remove the paper and just cover it up. But it gives it a really nice finished look to it. Then after that, I just used some antique wax paint color and stained my dowel rods. Just put it on with a paintbrush and then wiped it down with a baby wipe, and it gave me my desired look. The thing about staining, you just keep going back and forth until you're happy with the color. So even if you have a lighter brown, it can come out a little bit reddish or a little bit darker. It's totally up to you. But that's one trick I have about staining that has worked for me. And I always only do 3 sides of any border that I put on a sign. It just gives it better adhesion when you put down either a hot glue or super glue gel. I love using super glue gel, and these little clips from the Dollar Tree help me keep everything together. The next thing I take is these pumpkins. I got these from the Dollar Tree a couple years ago, and the front of it has fall vibes on it, and the back pumpkin is like a checkered or a plaid look to it. So what I want to do is just separate the pumpkins and just use the smaller ones. I just use my heat tool to loosen up the glue a little bit, try to remove some of the paper, and then hot glue it down on the bottom corner of this sign. And that is it for this one. I absolutely love it. So adorable. Really, really cute. Next up, I have this wood pumpkin I got from a store called Bargain Hunt. And then I got this silkscreen stencil from Amazon. So I'm going to use that. But first I'm going to use some Waverly chalk paint and white and give my pumpkin 2 coats of paint. Really easy to do. And yeah, I dried it in between with my heat tool to make the process go faster. Next, what I am going to do is probably paint the sides, but still thinking about it. So I'm just going to continue with the rest and take my silkscreen stencil and position it the way that I want to, and then just smooth that out. And I'm going to take some Summer or Shimmer Harvest. I get a bunch of Chalk Couture like samples, or those, one-off, stencils that you can get, and I keep a lot of the chalk paste because I don't use them all, because you get 3 in them and I just don't use them all. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to take a scraper tool, and I am going to adhere all of my chalk paste on there the way that I know that you should. It's just very one thin line, and you just want to scrape up as much as you possibly can, and then you can immediately remove the stencil. And so I did that, and this turned out so cute, y'all. I really, really, really like this one. I went against painting the sides and just left it as is. And it's so adorable. I want to put this stencil on everything. And I love the exposed wood on the side. All right, for this next DIY, I'm going to take a couple of more of the pumpkins that I had. So I'm going to just reuse the one that I didn't use on the last DIY. And then I have these 2 scrapbooking papers, also from the Hobby Lobby. I really love a quintessential orange pumpkin with just a little bit of fun aspect to it. So I really love these 2 papers. So what I do to separate the pumpkins, again, I do the same thing because I don't believe I want that pumpkin situated where it was. And then I take my heat tool and my scraper to remove the tags and all the paper from everything else, because if you've been around and you know me, I like using the more cleaner finished kind of surface to paint or do whatever on. I just feel like the texture is a little bit better. So what I do is I just trace the pumpkin pages on the pages with the pumpkins, cut that out, and then I adhere it with that glue stick again, and then sand down the edges of that paper so I get a nice uniform finished look. And then I just try to figure out how I want these standing. And so then once I figure out how I want it standing, then I go ahead and glue them together, and that is it. It's really adorable. I think it's super cute. I did want them to stand, so I put some Jenga pieces on the back side of it, and that actually worked out. Then I just go ahead and replace one of the raffia bows, and it's just on the small pumpkin. Turned out super cute. I did some jute bows also, and I love how this looks. So cute. Next up, I'm taking this. It looks like a half window to me. I got it from Target. And then I'm going to take a bunch of these 16 millimeter wood beads, and I'm just going to go all the way around onto this board. Now, I got this idea. I was inspired off of a sign that kind of looks similar on Kirkland's website, and so that's what inspired me to do this. So then I'm going to take this Waverly chalk paint in white and then just give this sign a really good coat. I believe I went through twice to get these painted, and then I just use a small paintbrush to get into the creases and crevices in between those wood half wood beads. And with this type of project, when you have to paint over the beads like that, it doesn't get everywhere and it kind of can clump up the paint. just take a small paintbrush and try to get everything in there, and don't use a whole bunch of paint. The next thing I do is take one of those Dollar Tree calendars pages, the one that says count your blessings with the pumpkins, and I just cut it down to size on where I wanted majority of my items to be shown. I didn't worry too much about the white on the paper showing. I just kind of left a little bit there, but then I had to realize I needed to cut out a lot of these pieces. So that's what I did, and I went through and just started playing Tetris with the way that I wanted it to look. Once I figured out the placement, then I added a good amount of Mod Podge and a mixture of water to get that down, and it gives it a really good matte look instead of like the shininess that sometimes Mod Podge gives. But yeah, then I just kind of laid it out. The next thing I did is I took a little bit of some burnt umber acrylic paint and just dry brushed on my half wood beads. I wanted it to look really vintage, or not vintage, but more like rustic, and give that the farmhouse look that I really absolutely love. So I just used a little chippy brush. I've had these for years, y'all, like so long, and just go around until it looked the way that I want it. And then I also did the face, like the middle part of it. You can omit this if you want, if you're looking for more of that clean, crisp kind of look to it. I love that too, but I love the farmhouse rustic look even more. So it's totally up to you, your personal preference, and I just really hope this is good inspiration for you. Okay, next up I have this really pretty scrapbooking paper with some orange pumpkins, and then I have this mini like cutting board thing. It's great for tier trays, and so what I'm going to do is just trace that around as I've been doing all the other ones, and go ahead and glue that onto the front of it. I also then had a few wood words in my stash. So I found this word gather, and I just painted it using some white chalk paint, and I gave it just a really good coat. And then on the edges of my little mini cutting board, I painted that with some burnt umber acrylic paint, I believe. And then I just glued the gather word onto the front of the cutting board. And I use some super glue gel, and then I attach some twine over to the handle, secured that with some hot glue, and that's it for this one. I thought it turned out so cute. I really like it, and it looks super adorable on a tiered tray for the fall season. For my next DIY, and I believe this is the last one of the video, I took these wall shelves from the Dollar Tree. I've been wanting to do a bunch of like trio signs with this size of wood, because they're just a kind of a perfect size, if you ask me, especially if you have like small spaces, or you have a lot of these and you want to put them on like a shelf or something, or even a table, and you don't want them so big. Because I find that the ones that are much longer in like a trio set or something, or just even one, you just have to either put outside or in a larger corner, like with high ceilings. I don't know, that's just me. But anyways, you see what I've been doing with this DIY. Painted all of the boards using my black chalk paint ink, and then I cut out a few phrases using my Cricut Maker 3, and I cut out, what is it, family ties, pumpkin pies, autumn skies. And so basically all I did is just weeded everything out. I can't remember the font that I used, y'all. If I do remember, it'll be in my description box below. But I also used some orange removable vinyl. I had a brain fart there, y'all. Oh, sorry. Anyways, the next thing I'm going to do is I am actually going to use my square dowel rods to do a border on my sign, but I want to remove the holes on the sign, so I'm just going to cut those down to size and sand that down. I really liked finished projects, y'all, because a lot of times they turn out to be products that I am able to sell or confidently give away to family and friends. I just love a real good finish, you know, complete look to these DIY projects because I want them to look good in my home, but even when I sell it or give it away, I want it to look really good in other people's homes too. So I take a lot of pride in making sure that all my stuff looks really nice, like something I would want to hang up or put in my house. So that's why I do a lot of these extra other steps. If you think, some people say that I do, but anyways, enough of me rambling. I just take my square dowel rods, I leave them that natural wood color, cut those down to size, and adhere those with my super glue gel from the Dollar Tree. Once I had all 3 of those done, then it was time for me to transfer over my my vinyl words to each of these signs, and then I just was trying to figure out how I wanted them to go, so I just placed them as far left as I could, keeping them as even as possible. Once that was done, these are it, and I absolutely love them. So adorable, and you can literally make one for every season. Alright, Crafty Dolls, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you're new, love what you see, but love all things DIY home decor, go ahead and consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you're notified every time that I upload. Also, make sure you guys check out the playlist and get tons of fall DIY inspiration. Alright, Crafty Dolls, be blessed, stay safe, and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye!